not that paper thin, twiggy, unless I forced myself to be, and then it was unhealthy, of course. But, so yeah, food and we don't get along. And I eat really good, but listening to one of your podcasts, I'm probably a healthy overeater, just like the almonds and, what Susan was talking about.
That's exactly right. And just so you know, you said food and you don't get along. That's going to change. Food and you are going to get along very well now. We're going to have a very good relationship with food. And for what it's worth, it's going to take work. I'm not going to say, hey, yeah, in like 4 days, you're just going to be like completely fine. It's going to take work, and there's going to be times when you're going to be uncomfortable. I want you to be comfortable being uncomfortable. How you doing?
Jonathan?
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you? Happy Monday. Is this you?
Yes.
Hey, how are you? Well, let me ask you this before I even bring it up. Do you know why I wanted to talk on the phone really quick?
Yes, about my food intake.
Okay, so talk to me. What happened?
My lack of food intake. No, just the 1700. I know after thinking about it, I know I need to increase my calorie intake and keep it consistent, instead of the 1,000 calorie. That number really scares me, trying to get that much food into myself a day without messing with my head.
I totally get that. Well, let me ask you this. What do you think up to this point has been one of the biggest reasons why you haven't been able to achieve your goal thus far in terms of losing weight?
Well, it's not for the lack of working out. That's for damn sure.
That's for sure. Because you know it's about a calorie deficit, and you work out hard. You love working out. So there's definitely a nutrition component, right?
Yes, that is probably my biggest wall that I fight myself with.
So, and you said something interesting last night via email. So, you said, like, I don't know how I feel about that number. It's so high. And then I said, well, how are you doing on the weekends? And you said, you tell me what you said.
I could have a total shit day and go on full feed. I mean, it's just...
Got it.
It's not consistent, so...
So talk to me about the total shit day and go on full... What happens with that?
Well, I'll start drinking a little too soon.
Okay.
Depending on what I'm doing around the house or watching a football game or just hanging out with my friend. And then I'll make crappy choices. I'll eat the shit food that he's not allowed to buy, but he buys anyways, and chips and pizza and crap like that.
Okay. And you
So,
is it more of a binge?
Probably.
And by the way, just so you know, like, I've worked with 1,000 people. I talk all the time. Like, there's nothing you can say that would surprise me. There's no judgment whatsoever. Basically, you just need full honesty, because that's how I'm going to be able to help you most, right?
Right. Yeah. No, that's fine. I understand.
Now, I have a feeling, just based on, and there's a reason why I went straight to the weekends. Like, I know this pattern, and I have a feeling that's what's going on is you're restricting a lot during the week, and then on the weekend, you are like, oh my God, like I restricted so much, like it's finally time where it's like, where you can like relax a little bit, and then as soon as you relax, you go off the handle and you binge, right? And then all of a sudden, like, you very easily eat back everything that you've worked so hard over the week to not eat, right? So,
Yeah, you're correct.
So I fully understand that seeing that number 1,700 might be scary for you, but what's cool is if you do that, your net total at the end of the week is going to be less than what you're doing now, because you're not going to be having that urge to binge on the weekend anymore. And just so you know, like, it's okay to be nervous about it. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be fearful of it. I think one of the reasons you came to me is because you're tired of of that. You're tired of binging on the weekends. You're tired of going over it, and you're like, okay, I'm ready to like make a change and actually achieve my goals, and probably don't want to spend your life binging, purging in terms of like barely eating over the week and then going way overboard on the weekend. Like, you'd probably want to spend your life actually having a healthier relationship with food.
God, yes. The food has been my downfall since I think I was born. I mean, it was just, just growing up in an Italian family, and, I was always athletic, but I was always not that paper thin, twiggy, unless I forced myself to be, and then it was unhealthy, of course. But, so yeah, food and I, we don't get along. And I eat really good, but listening to one of your podcasts, I'm probably a healthy overeater, just like the almonds and, what Susan was talking about.
That's exactly right. And just so you know, you said food and you don't get along. That's going to change. Food and you are going to get along very well now. We're going to have a very good relationship with food. And for what it's worth, it's going to take work. I'm not going to say, hey, yeah, in like 4 days, you're just going to be like completely fine. It's going to take work, and there's going to be times when you're going to be uncomfortable. I want you to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And I want you, and I know you said right away, like as soon as you saw that 1700, you're like, that makes me really nervous, because like that's higher than you're used to during the week. But in your heart, you know that eating that and allowing yourself to eat more and not restricting yourself to 1,000 calories, 1,200 calories during the week is going to allow you to achieve your goals and have a better and healthier relationship with food. The best part, even if you didn't work out, you still wouldn't gain fat on that amount. Just based on your body composition, like your height, your weight, like I know for a fact you wouldn't, I promise you. I'm not gonna say stop working out, because I think it's great how much you love working out, and working out's awesome in general. But on your high day right now, eating 1,700, you could do that for the rest of your life and you would not gain fat. So I want you to remind yourself of that all day when you're leading up to it. When you start to get anxious, when you start to feel like, uh-oh, I'm eating more than that 1,200 that I usually do, hear my voice. You will not gain fat on 1,700 calories. I promise you. I promise you on my life. He's a new one-on-one client, and emailed me last night after I sent her new training program, nutrition guidelines, and 1,700 high days. I think it was like 1,500 low days. Super nervous. Emails me immediately like, I don't know if I could do that. My first question right off the bat is, well, why does that make you nervous? And she's like, because I'm used to eating 1,000 to 1,200 calories a day. And immediately if you're eating 1,000 to 1,200 calories a day, you're gonna be very, very, very low body fat, very, very low weight. And usually what happens is when people say they're eating that amount, but they're not that, like they're not as low body fat, they're having some type of binge issue. So next question right off the bat was, how are your weekends going? Are you tracking on the weekend? What's that like? And she comes back and she's like, well, the weekends are usually tough for me because not tracking as much, and sometimes I just go off track and I sort of binge basically. And so what a lot of people don't realize is that when they restrict all week, day after day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they restrict and they have 1,000 calories, 1,200 calories, just low, and they don't go over. By the time Friday comes, by the time Saturday comes, by the time Sunday comes, whoosh, they can't control it anymore, and they binge. And it's this nonstop until Monday, and then they get back on the restricting, and it's a never-ending cycle of restrict, binge, restrict, binge. And the sooner you can realize that you can give yourself more calories during the week. Welcome to New York. The sooner you realize that you can give yourself more calories during the week, and actually eating more calories during the week will prevent you from binging on the weekends, the sooner, not only will you make more progress and lose more fat, but the healthier of a relationship you'll have with food, the happier it'll be, the more comfortable you'll be, you won't have anxiety around food. It's so important. If you find yourself in this restrict during the week, binge over the weekend, call yourself on it. Hold yourself accountable. You can make the change. You just got to believe it and hear, and I promise you, it's the right move. What's going on? I hope you're doing well. I am with Anthony. We are going to boxing right now. Good day. Really getting a lot accomplished. Several phone calls, client programs, inner circle stuff. One thing I keep getting in my DMs is, how are you so positive all the time? And it's a really interesting question because I'm definitely not positive all the time. Nobody is. It's the same thing as like nobody's happy all the time. Nobody's in a good mood all the time. Nobody's feeling great all the time. Nobody feels strong all the time. We all have ups and downs. The interesting thing about positivity though, I don't think positivity is the first step. I think that what happens is you have a perspective and you view something as either an optimistic point of view or a pessimistic point of view. You can either be optimistic about the outcome or pessimistic about it. And whatever lens you view it from will lead to either being positive or negative. If your lens is continuously pessimistic, is continuously, people are bad, this is gonna suck, I can't do this, this is gonna be terrible, you will be negative. The way people perceive you will be negative, the way you feel will be negative. It will be a habit because your lens will continuously be pessimistic. If your lens is optimistic, you'll be perceived as positive, because even you could have the same exact scenario and two people could look at the exact same scenario and look at it from two different lenses. One person will look at it from a negative perspective, one with a pessimistic, another one optimistic. And I honest to God think you can decide what lens you look at it from. I think it's easier to go with the pessimistic route. I think it's easier to fall into, people suck, this is too hard, I can't do it, it's too difficult. It's easier to do that because when you have that pessimistic outlook, it gives you a reason not to do something, not to trust someone, not to do something, not to put effort into something. When you have the optimistic outlook, reasons for not doing something go away. You have to go into it. You don't have to, but it makes sense because it's a good outcome. And it's more mental and emotional effort to do that. But the more you do it, the more you go to that optimistic lens, the better you feel. And the more of a habit it becomes. And the more you'll unconsciously see things from an optimistic perspective, and that exudes positivity. So I'm definitely not happy all the time or positive all the time, but I do make a conscious effort to turn the lens to optimism as often as I can, because the more optimistic you can be, the better. And the reality is this: no one was ever mad that they were optimistic. No one was ever upset that they were optimistic, ever. When you look back on your life, this will be a good bumpy ride. When you look back on your life, you'll either be happy that you looked at things from a optimistic perspective and took advantage of opportunities, or you'll look back with regret that you were so pessimistic, that nothing seemed good enough, or you didn't trust people enough, you didn't take enough risks. And that's a choice. It really is. So it's my random rant for the day. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, man, I really appreciate you taking the call.
Of course, bro. Of course, my man. How are you?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm good. Just got out of boxing. On my way back to the apartment, gonna get a little bite to eat. Figured I could hop on the phone with you for a minute, see what's going on.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I mean, first off, I just gotta say thank you for everything that you do in terms of your content, the message you send out, I'm always reposting plenty of your stuff on my page for my clients and trainers who follow me as well.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that a lot. Seriously, thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah, just a quick question. I'm right now a trainer. Like, I just started in this field. Like, I'm young. I'm 23, and I'm just curious, like, what recommendations you have for me in terms of like if I want to transition out of a corporate facility, like into maybe like a private business and training.
Okay. Do you mean someone else's private facility or your own private business, like as an individual, or like online, combination of all of it? Like, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking of like a brick and mortar, but also like combination of, for those individuals that can't reach me in terms of like training one-on-one or like in a group setting, maybe do it online as well. So I'm still trying to figure this thing out.
Cool.
Because,
I mean,
yeah, I'm still young.
You don't have to know, dude, I don't know what the fuck I want to do. I have no idea what the fuck I want to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, it's, you just got to like sort of roll with the punches and continue to do what you're passionate about. 97% of gyms, if I'm not mistaken, fail in the first year. And it's a lot of times because like young coaches love coaching and like, I want to open my own gym, and then all of a sudden they're not coaching anymore. They're trying to manage a gym and they don't have the capital, they don't have the people. It's like, do what you love, save money, have fun, help people, and down the road, you're gonna set yourself up for way more success and to help more people. All right, man, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks, Jordan. I really appreciate taking the call.
Bye-bye. Jason!
Hey, how are you?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good.
You remember Anthony? I think he knows all of these by heart.
Correct.
A24. Yo! Alright. What is A13? That's what's up.
Welcome. Thank you, my friend.
Have a great one, my man. I appreciate it.